L-carnitine is where you spent almost two and a half years. 2.5 years, right? And the idea sparked to do something in Ayurveda somewhere at L-carnitine.
No, I won't say it sparked at L-carnitine. The idea for Ayurveda and doing something in Ayurveda sparked when I was 15 and a half. So, my dada was an Ayurvedic doctor. I grew up with juvenile bronchitis. I suffered from asthma. Family's been in Ayurveda for 150 years now. Everyone but my dad is an Ayurvedic doctor, all generations before.
Really?
So, I'm the 6th generation Ayurveda in my family. And our last name, actually, Vaidya means Ayurvedic doctor. So, we are Mehtas.
I see.
Very few people know we are also Gujarati. My great-grandfather changed last name in the 20s for profession. Vaidya Ayurvedic doctor. I grew up with juvenile bronchitis. I suffered a lot and I couldn't do a lot of things that normal kids do, right? So, Coke, Limca, Fanta, Sprite, ice cream, not allowed. Never had.
Achha.
I got a taste for ice cream when I was 13 years old and I have no taste for Coke, Limca, Fanta, Sprite because by the time I got to 13 also my parents were like, there is no value only in trying. Chhod de. Like, there's no point, and I'm thankful that I have no taste for aerated drinks because I've never had a taste for aerated drinks. So my dada got me on Ayurvedic treatment, and I think outside of this food, also cricket and football I wasn't allowed to play. Because the cricket grounds and football grounds we have in Bombay, there's no grass.
Correct.
It's only mud and dust, right? And that was
Lots
very
of
bad.
Dust,
Very bad for an asthmatic. So I was playing golf and squash. And a kid with a hand-eye coordination problem at age 7 trying to hit a golf ball is like a bad idea, right? So my dada cured me by the time I was 15 and a half, and I went to Ambani. In the first year, I became captain of the school cricket team. I wasn't a great cricketer, and we had a very small team. We only played 4 matches in the history of the school. But because I was the most sincere, they made me captain. But for me, that was a turning point where it said Ayurveda gave me back a part of my life and I wanted. Wow. Then times in college actually, seeing yoga being repackaged, yoga mats, yoga gyms, yoga apparel, Lululemon, Whole Foods, all of these things, right? I said, hey, there is something here that's very interesting.
Bikram
right?
Yoga was quite big, right?
Bikram Yoga was big, and just like I was enamored by Lululemon.
Achha.
$8 billion company building off modernizing what India had traditionally, but we have nothing to do with the value there, right? Like no Indian had any value creation from Lululemon. It was an American company that repackaged what we had. So I remember calling my dada from campus and saying, it's amazing that yoga is global. It's not so amazing that Indian companies haven't taken yoga to the world. We can't let the same happen with Ayurveda. So the seed was sown then. There was always conversation about it in the family. My dad actually wanted to do what I did.
Achha.
But my dada was a doctor, and doctors and businessmen don't see eye to eye. So my dad tried to do offline distribution of my dada's products, and he lost money for the first time because he did a TV ad on DD in the late 80s, and he lost money, and he's like, doctors don't lose money, I'm not doing this business thing that you are saying. So actually the turning point for me was my dada's passing. The moment he passed, I said, I made him a promise. I'm 24 and a half years old. The least I can do is give it a shot. And at the time he passed, actually, we had a large IP of formulations, like 100 plus proprietary Ayurvedic formulations. A very large Ayurvedic company, very well-known company, offered a friend of my granddad who came to my dad, and my dad said, if someone does something with it, it's my older son, so talk to him. And at that time in 2016 or 15, 2016, they offered me 6 crore cash.
2016,
6 crore cash for the formulations. We'll buy all the IP from you, transfer all the knowledge, transfer all the technology, and thank you. We don't want you.
The brand name stays with you though.
Brand name Thai nahi.
Acha, Thai nahi. Okay.
So Dr. Vaidya's was my dada's name, but he ran a clinic under the name Dr. Vaidya. So brand ही नहीं था, distribution नहीं था, कुछ नहीं था.
Got it.
They didn't want the brand name either. I mean, there was no brand name, right? It was a doctor who had some 3,000, 4,000 patient database, and that was Dr. Vaidya. And then I said, if this is being offered to me, worst case, 1 साल बाद यही मिलेगा. And it's not bad money. It's decent money.
2016 is good money.
And I was like 24 and a half, 25 years old. For me, it was like, boss, I hit the jackpot here. But I said, if this is the money being offered, clearly there's some value here that maybe I have to go and unlock and see. And so, worst case, I'll get this value after 1-2 years. Maybe half of the value.
Correct.
Maybe 3/4 of the value. Kuch to milega. I mean, there's some value in these formulations, right? That they can't go out and reverse engineer it in one day. But I made my dada a promise. I want to take forward his legacy. If it skips my generation, it's dead.
Correct.
And it's a rich legacy that will die. I am patriotic. I care for what our country has to offer. Let's give it a shot. And that was the turning point for Dr. Vaidya's.
Wow. And when did you get the seed capital to start?
So my granddad operated, he was a very famous doctor who had like 350, 400 patients a day coming to his clinic. He had 12,000 patients a month writing to him via post. And so he had reserves in the company.
Acha.
He had created a private limited company to run his clinic practice and a manufacturing facility which was Ayush approved. Pre-Ayush, it was FDA, eventually Ayush approved. So,
and where was the factory?
Silvassa.
Acha.
So it was quasi small industrial clinic, right?
Got it.
Doctor with clinic with a quasi setup that looked like.
Let's call it niche in VC trans. Niche setup.
Means it in some way, shape or form could look like a FMCG or a products company, but not yet there, right? Like formulations the, thoda manufacturing tha, factory mein 6-8 log the. That was the setup I inherited. But there was 4 CR of reserves in the company. And so my dad said that this is the capital that your dada has left behind for you symbolically. Whatever he has kept in the company. Now, he may have taken out money over the years from the company, he may have dividended out, salary, whatever he may have done, right? But whatever is notionally left seems to have been left for the future of this company. So that is what we are giving you. 4 crores is a lot of money, but never come back to me for a rupee more than this. This is what's left for you. This is your destiny. Start with this, put it in fixed deposit, earn interest, work with that, whatever it is. This capital is the only capital we are giving you.
Okay.
So 4 crore, a lot of capital that prevented the seed round dilution, which today maybe 20-25%. At that time, you would raise 4 crore for a early stage company, you give 40%, 50% of your company away, right? So it allowed me to
So what's the first thing you did once you decided, okay, I'm going to start, and you quit L-Catet and you started this in something like October of 2016.
Yeah, so I quit early 2016. Officially started October 2016, but by the summer of 2016 we were ideating, planning. Or earlier we were ideating, planning, but I started work on. First thing I started doing was I said, okay, I've inherited these formulations. Let me go and figure out what these formulations are.
Got it.
My dada, when I was a kid, used to keep telling me, "Aaj aao factory." Dada used to go every Saturday to factory. He took a 6 a.m. train from Mumbai Central to go to Silvassa. I think a 10, 12, 13-year-old kid is not waking up at 6 a.m. on a Saturday. It's not happening, right? Never been to the factory in my life.
Oh, wow.
So it was rediscovering all that my dada had left behind. I went to the clinic. I spent time there. I met all his team. I went to this factory which had my photos all over. Because at some subliminal part of my dada knew that at some point I'll take this on.
Okay.
And it was a surreal feeling, right? Dada's passed 6 months back. I go to this factory. In a mezzanine floor, he has a small office desk. And in that near that office desk is just photos of me. Meaning like, it felt like a little bit eerie and creepy also that in some way, like, he actually knew that I would do this.